Okay, House of Payne fans, time for my review of Season 11, Episode 18, entitled #Help. Synopsis: Curtis wants to build his Sauce Boss brand, and Ella needs to get women to register for the church's help center to receive a much-needed grant. Alright, first of all, this episode was less than 19 minutes long, so this was very short, focusing on Curtis, Ella, Calvin, and Lisa. There are also, I think, two unnamed characters, like two female characters who show up to kind of glitz and glamour Ella with eyeshadow and lashes and whatnot, and we never even see their faces. But yeah, this episode, simply put, Ella needs to get around 75 new signatures of, women to sign up for the help center, and this is all to get a grant in order to keep it up and running. Because, long story short, and I think I mentioned this in my trailer breakdown for this episode, Curtis and Ella's loan was to fix up the help center because it was such, it was in such bad shape that it needed to be like almost fully repaired, because we don't know the amount, but apparently it was very expensive. Then from there, the help center is good to go, it's fixed up, but there still needs to be funds in order to keep the help center up and running, which again makes sense. The church couldn't afford to fix the place up without donations. So that being said, the money they donated was to fix up the help center. Now they need money to keep it up and running, electricity, possibly food, other supplies, things like that. But I really do feel like, yet again, it goes back to how, if the help center is such a pillar within the community, why doesn't the community chip in to help? That's all I'm saying. But in any case, yeah, she needs to get 75 signatures by the end of the day in order to get this grant. And if not, then it's safe to say that Curtis and Ella donated all that money for nothing. So we see Lisa trying to, come up with new catchphrases or slogans in order to pitch to her followers. We find out she has about 10,000 followers on social media because of her old job. And she recommends that, Ella do the same thing. Hey, why don't you post a video online, try to get help on the internet. This really felt like an episode of The Paynes. It really did. I mean, the played out, hey, the older generation doesn't know about, the @ symbol, hashtag, social media, lingo and whatnot. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm 31 and there are some things I don't know, so I can't really harp on it too much. But it was a running joke that just kind of fell flat for me. Lisa looked hella fine, though, so there's that. Oh, yeah, also, 4 out of 10. But this wasn't a 1 out of 10 episode. I mean, I was thinking of giving it a 1 out of 10, but as somebody who works with social media, I did appreciate the episode for what it was, but it did feel a bit, ridiculous. It's kind of like when Mr. Brown, I'm talking like late season 1 of Assisted Living, when Mr. Brown went viral for advertising the retirement home or living facility, and he went from having 1 or 2 followers, which I believe consisted of Medea and Cora, to his video going viral. It made no sense at all. I know these things can happen, but the way it did happen made no sense at all. But as the episode goes on, we have Curtis in the kitchen. He's getting help from Calvin because he wants his brand to kind of, do numbers. But the thing is, Calvin is insisting that, look, the reason you haven't really blown up online or gotten a consistent following is the fact that the people love your sauce, but they really want to connect with the person behind the brand. It's like, you need to be your brand. You need to connect with your people. Listen to what they say online. Do they like it when you talk to them? Do they like it, when you have a story to go with the sauce, that kind of thing. And Calvin did point out, oh, now you're thinking, there we go. When Curtis mentioned, like talking about stories and things like that to connect with the audience. Of course, at the end of the episode, it's funny because he reveals an embarrassing story about Calvin, but we'll get to that at the end. So Calvin steps out to go get, his selfie camera. I mean, well, it's like the selfie studio. It's like that circle with the light. You put your phone in it. Those things are everywhere now. I actually got a few myself. I know I got 2 or 3 I bought back in Lynchburg and Ollie's and whatnot, but they're in storage. But yeah, basically, it's like you create your little own studio. What is it, like a tripod? You put your phone on it, then you have the light, and there you go. You start recording. So he goes to the living room and thinks that Calvin set it up for him. Also, earlier, Lisa's directing Ella to, you know, have a catchphrase to, you know, and, you know, get the people excited. And she has a decent little following there when she starts doing the video. So yeah, she steps out to, you know, get ready to do it again, because even though the first video or the first live she did went well, nobody really signed up. So they decided to do it again. Curtis comes in, he thinks it's for him, so he starts doing a live, and well, he got about 1,800 people watching him, and you know, he's advertising the sauce. You know, he starts unbuttoning his shirt a little bit, because when people say like take it off or whatever, you know, he gets excited by the attention. So he's, you know, advertising his brand, and it's going well. Now from there, Ella comes in, she gets pissed off because, well, to be completely honest, Curtis, he didn't know. This wasn't one of those situations where Curtis like wanted to steal the spotlight from Ella. It's just that he thought that, oh, I thought Calvin did this for me. But then Calvin walks in with his camera and everything like, hey, I didn't set this up. Your setup is right here. I still need to put it together. So yeah, you know, Ella gets in her feelings saying, you know what, I needed this for the help center, yada, yada, yada. This is one of them times I didn't feel that bad, because it wasn't Curtis knowingly being selfish. He didn't know. He thought this was his thing because he and Calvin discussed it. So simple as that. So they go to the backyard. Apparently, you know, Curtis is getting trolled online by people, which, based on my opinions of the Danny storyline and sister, I have dealt with over the past 2 days, but I literally don't give a shit. But it's funny because that's why I related to this episode. But in any case, Ella wants to do another live, but this time no jokes, no catchphrases. She just wants to get in front of the camera to talk about the help center. And she talks for like a good minute, and then out of nowhere, the first ping comes in, and it's an email. Somebody signed up, and then next thing you know, 43 people. And the thing was, apparently they weren't even recording or going live, which I don't know how that makes sense. But you know, Curtis did a live stream himself promoting Ella, and as a result, they got over 100 and something signatures, 123, 143. Basically, he used the haters that were dragging him to uplift Ella and what she does, and as a result, it worked out. So that's it. And then the episode ends with Curtis having over 100,000 people watching his video, telling a funny story about Calvin, and that's it. So this was it was okay. I mean, like I said, the episode just felt kind of cheap, to be honest. That's really all I gotta say. It just felt like a bland episode, but it was better than the last 2, I guess. I will say that much. But like I said, I'm getting tired of the money thing. I mean, the promo for next week has to do with money. This week was about getting money for $1,000. You know, and the past 3 episodes have been the same thing. So in reality, I'm just ready for this season of the show to be over, and we'll move on to something else. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think about the episode? Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.